What's up, guys? I'm Desha Ari. Now today, as you guys could tell from the title, I am doing a reaction to the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series 10. So yeah, we're gonna get into that today. I know you guys are like, why are you reacting to somebody else's video? I'm a small YouTuber still, so I unfortunately don't get these kinds of gifts. But I did see like a lot of posts going on like a couple of days ago. I'm like 3 days behind. I wanted to do this yesterday, but you guys know I work a full-time job. So we're gonna do a reaction. My initial reaction when I first started seeing this stuff online was that it was going to be too big, too bulky. Overall, it was kind of ugly to me. So we're gonna see if my opinions change now that we have physical mock-ups of the Xbox. But we're gonna watch UrAvgConsumer. I pretty much watch him for any electronics or anything. I've been following him for a while. So we're gonna go ahead and watch him. I'm gonna try to keep this video under 20 minutes. So let's just go ahead and hop into it.
What's going on, guys? It's UrAvgConsumer, and today we have a very, very special unboxing. What we've got inside of this box is not only the Xbox One S, but also the Xbox One X.
I just realized he had
now,
an
they ain't
Xbox
real or
shirt
nothing.
on. I got an Xbox shirt on,
we will
too.
see what the actual bodies are like, so we'll be able to take a look at all the I/O, all that good stuff. So let's get right into it, right? All right, Carl, you ready for this, my man?
Pumped up, let's do it.
Okay, that's a little too much for me, but all right. So let's, first of all, get this box open. I know you see that Leaf Village kunai. Carl, you know. I feel like I gotta use this the way they use it. It is almost impossible to cut like this, though.
Nah, it is.
And probably dangerous. Step back, you guys.
Probably dangerous.
But all right, whew. So, we've got two boxes over here. One is clearly smaller.
Right.
I'm assuming that is the Xbox One S. And we've got a bigger one for the One X. So which shall we open first? Obviously, it's gonna be the One
Just to
X.
pause really quick. Initially, well, not initially, I want to go ahead and get the PlayStation 5. That's what I'm banking on getting this year. I already have the original Xbox One. Well, I guess the digital version because I didn't buy the one with the CD-ROM. I have Nintendo Switch, you know, and then I have my MacBook here. So I don't know if I plan on getting the Xbox. So even if I do, I would probably get the smaller version since I'm already getting the PlayStation. Well, I plan on getting the PlayStation, obviously. It's not here yet. But I plan on getting the PlayStation. So after this, we'll see.
Yes, you know this, Jay. All right, so what's the set? Xbox Stockton faux console? Oh, no way.
Is that the small one?
No way. What? Yo, this thing is tiny. Oh, there is no way.
That is very tiny.
What? Okay, I was not expecting this at all.
Very tiny.
I was expecting something similar to the Xbox One S, but it's only in color, guys. It's similar only in color. This thing is miniature. Whoa. Now, I've been seeing a lot of people say this kind of looks like a speaker.
It does look like a
because
speaker.
of over here. It's the exhaust, you know,
look
so
like a
that
speaker.
the hot air could come out. But the idea here is to not have all of the air just come out of this one spot. You still have vents on the sides so that, I don't know, let's say you cover this by accident, you can still have some of that airflow going off on the sides. So you still got a couple of vents all over the Xbox, just in case. This is for an optimal airflow.
It look like an old CD player.
This looks like an old CD player? Either way, there are no CDs involved in this one because this is the all digital version. That means no disc whatsoever. You want to get your games, you download them. So this is going to be the cheaper version of the Xbox Series. And it's going to run for $299. And I think that's a good deal, you guys. $299. I wasn't expecting Xbox to have a console ready in that price range for the holiday season. That's going to be huge. Sony always releases their smaller version way later than their initial release. So it's going to be very interesting to see this launch side by side with the more premium version, the Series X. But
a job's about a lot more than a pay.
Ow.
That hurt you?
Yes.
Yeah, but let's take a look around the actual console. So obviously we got our exhaust up front so that heat could come out, but you've also got some on the sides. So you got all of that. In the very front, we've got our...
As far as stats go with the Xbox, I know this one, since it's smaller, it won't be 4K, which might turn me off just a little bit, just for the simple fact that I bought a 4K TV just so I could play like 4K consoles and games and stuff. So I know this one won't be 4K. I think it'll be a little bit more than 1080p. I can't remember the stats. I also know that it's not going to be as powerful as the Xbox One X, but it's at this price point at $299. Like, it's really a good deal. And at the end of the day, I still like Xbox more than PlayStation. And the only reason why I plan on getting PlayStation is because majority of my male friends only play PlayStation. So depending on my friends, you know, where we're going. But like I said, I'm mainly getting the PlayStation this year. We'll see about the Xbox.
Power button over here. You've got your sync button so you can sync up your controllers, as well as a USB port. Very similar to like what we see with the Xbox One X, except there's no eject button because this is the all digital version.
Right.
In the back, we've got our Ethernet port, 2 USB ports, an HDMI port. What's this port? Interesting. So I don't know what that port is. There's no label for it and I don't recognize it, but this is the power port over here and I'm guessing a Kensington lock. But I'm going to use the power of research and see if Microsoft sent me any little information on what that port is, and I'll let you guys know. Wait, did you mean it looks like a record player? Wow, Carl, you ruined their joke. I could kind of get that.
So it's supposed to...
You didn't tell me. I had to deduce that from your back. Okay, I kind of see it. Whatever. Still, it's pretty crazy.
It's nice and small,
okay,
so
we found it, and I actually feel kind of silly for forgetting this, but this is actually an expansion slot if you want to have extra storage. Okay. So there will be options available if you want to add an extra SSD to the Xbox so that you can get even more space than what you originally got with it. Should save a lot of space. You won't have to have like a really big external hard drive. You can get an SSD with those faster speeds attached right here. Silly me for forgetting. So those are all of our ports in the back. Now we will talk about specs in just a second. I want to see what that Series X looks like, because this thing,
imagine it just being
tiny.
Huge.
I gotta see what this guy looks like.
Which is what I thought it was when they released the pictures.
No way.
Oh,
this is so much smaller than I anticipated.
Yeah.
Now the Series X online, it looks big, but this ain't that bad, y'all.
It actually.
All right. It's a little thick.
It looks like
but it's not that big, though.
A mini
it's really
PC
not. And I just love what they did with
I'm not a PC player,
green
but
here. It looks so good.
It literally looked.
A lot of people thought it was a light, but it's actually not. But this is not bad at all. So this is the Series X.
And yeah, compared to like body size, it's
Series
actually
S.
not that big.
Side by side, here you have it.
Okay,
that's insane. And when they showed those diagrams of the Series S, like just kind of falling into this, it absolutely makes sense. I believe this is like 60% smaller. Don't quote me on that, but if I'm right, quote me on that. Now, the Series X has a pretty similar thought process. You got that giant vent on the top,
it doesn't look bad.
but you've also got vents in the back as well,
looks like a mini PC.
And even on the bottom. So that airflow is going to be legit. Now, in terms of ports, it's also pretty similar. You've got your power button up top, as well as your eject button for your disc here. So this does have a Blu-ray player. And you also have a sync button for your controllers and stuff. And of course, a USB port. And in the back, we're still looking at 2 more USB ports, Ethernet port, that storage expansion, and it actually says it right here, HDMI, and a power plug right here. And of course, that Kensington lock right there, so nobody can jack your stuff. But some details were also released about this alongside the Series S. They'll both be available November 10th. And pre-orders actually start September 22nd, which is like super close. This guy's going to be retailing for $500, while like we said, this was going to be $300. Is honestly just how miniature
Xbox
this
has
thing
had my
is.
heart
I just
for a long
cannot
time.
believe
So to see
how
that
small.
it's not
Like,
as
this
big,
is insane.
bulky, and
a quick
ugly
note
like
for those
I
of you
thought it
wondering,
was,
if you don't
I
want
was
to
like,
have it standing
do I
tall
want
like
to go
this,
back to Xbox?
how do you put it down? How do you lay it down horizontally? There's actually rubber feet right
I
here
did see
on the
that
sides.
where you could lay it
So
sideways
you'll
or
actually have
up.
it like this.
Yep.
So your disc over here, USB port at the bottom.
Most of my
it also helps that this
Xboxes
says
and Wii's
Xbox
and stuff,
right
they don't
up
lay
here.
flat.
So
They
you can
lay
kind of just make sure the
vertical,
words are
not
in line
horizontal.
with the direction that it has to go in. But this thing is a lot smaller than you
Yeah,
thought,
the
right?
key can literally sit behind my TV.
When you actually put it on a TV, like on a
Yeah.
TV stand or something, it looks a little bit bigger.
It looks bigger, but it's not bad.
Better.
Yeah, I can't fit it in here like I can.
Nah, you definitely can't.
Like my One X is right there, but
You
I
can't fit it the other way.
No, you can't.
Nah, this is definitely sits on top of
Yeah,
a TV
that's
stand.
what I was just
This
saying.
you're
On
fitting.
top behind the TV.
You getting that guy anywhere.
Anywhere.
You put that in your pocket and you're good.
Yeah.
Now we all know the Series X is the most powerful console we've ever seen on
That's
paper.
another thing too.
But the question is, how does the Series S stack up
That's
to
what
it?
I need to know.
Stack up to it. Now, when it comes down to the specs between these guys, there are actually quite a few differences in almost all of the categories. So for those spec heads out there who just love seeing those numbers, who like to compare, we'll throw them up right now. You guys can pause the
I am
video
about to
and
pause
make your
so we can
comparison.
go over it real quick. I am recording from my iPad, by the way, and not my Mac, because I don't have a screen recorder on my Mac, and I just thought about doing this. Like I said, I wanted to do it yesterday. I guess I could have downloaded something yesterday, but whatever. iPad works just fine. Let me actually make sure we're still recording. All right, still recording. So we have the Series X on the left side and the Series S on the right side. So both of them have a core CPU. We got 3.8 gigahertz, 3.6 gigahertz, 3.4 with SNT. So not too big of a difference there. Let's see. Okay, the GPU and CU 1.8. Okay, but these teraflops 12.15, and then you drop it all the way back down to 4. Okay, the 16 RAM, okay, and then 10. The thing is, you guys know I play stuff like Subnautica and, or I guess, platform games, survival-based games that have to load in properly. That would be my only concern, is because I have that issue now with the Xbox that I have now. I don't have the bigger version of the Xbox. So you guys know when I play Subnautica, like, stuff doesn't always load right then and there. Let's see. And then, like I said, I knew it wasn't going to be 4K. That I did know. So the Series X, or Series 10 or Series X, is 4K, 120 frames. And then the Series S is 1440p, which is a little bit better than 1280 or 1080. But still, I have a 4K TV. Like, what's the point of the 4K TV if I can't play games in 4K? And then, of course, we have a 1 terabyte 512, which my Xbox now is actually a 1 terabyte. So that 512 might go by pretty fast. 1 terabyte. We do have expansion. And then I don't care about having that Blu-ray disc, to be honest. And the HDMI are the same. All right, so let's move on. There are definitely differences here.
Take a look at all the different numbers, do your crunching. But for the average consumer who probably doesn't know what all these tech specs mean, the main ones that are gonna stand out and probably mean something to you are things like the overall resolution. You're gonna be able to play games at a higher resolution here. As we know, it's gonna be able to play 4K. This one goes up to 1440p, which is, we'll call it 2K. So that's what's gonna be standard, but it can also upscale to 4K. And this is gonna be able to run at 60 FPS, 60 FPS. Even up to 120 over here, and upscaled 4K content on the Series S can go up to 120 frames per second as well. But right off the bat, when it comes to that resolution, we are looking at a higher resolution here,
100
and I believe
FPS would be better
8K
for
is going to be
recording as
possible
well.
at some point. Definitely not something we're going to see on this guy. You'll also notice on the Series S, you have half the storage capacity of the
That's
Series
a bit of a
X.
concern.
So Series X has 1 terabyte. We're looking at about 500 over here. Now what's nice is that the disk speeds are still the same, so you'll still get the same performance, loading times and that kind of thing will still be the same, but you are getting half the storage here And storage is a bit important on this guy since it's all digital. So that's something you're gonna wanna keep in mind. Luckily, you can add like a terabyte through the expansion slot right here. So that's probably something you're gonna seriously wanna consider if you pick one of these up and you wanna have a pretty sizable library. So just kind of quickly looking at the spec sheets, I feel like the differences between these two is I feel like you're gonna get overall a very similar experience in terms of speed and being able to jump into a game and load times, that kind of thing. But where we're really going to see a big difference is the graphical power. So like I said, this is going to be a lower resolution. It also has weaker GPU. So we're going to see a lot more detail. Things are probably going to look a lot more crisp. We're going to see a lot more with this guy versus this. But if you're not looking for the craziest detailed experience, you just want to play the games and you want them to still look good, this is what you're going to be looking at. Now, we know the biggest difference between these two, besides the overall form factor, is that graphical power, but they also share a lot of similarities, performance being one of them like we just mentioned, but they've also got a lot of the same features. With both, we're gonna have access to backwards compatibility. So games that we played on the Xbox One, we'll be able to have access to on these, as well as Xbox 360. Thank the heavens, we'll be able to get that backwards compatibility on here, play some of those classics right on our new consoles. But beyond that, you can also use older Xbox One accessories. So if you have like the Xbox Elite controller that you probably spent a pretty penny on.
I don't have that many accessories for the Xbox.
So if you have an Xbox One Elite controller that you spent a lot of money on, you're gonna be able to play with that on these systems, because who wants that to go obsolete after you spent like $100-something on it? You're gonna be able to have access to those accessories on these guys, which is great. They've both also got the Xbox Velocity architecture. What that basically means is you're gonna have access to a lot more bandwidth, so you'll have better graphics on both systems. You'll get faster load times, better frames per second. So you're gonna be able to just have way, way better performance on both of these consoles compared to the Xbox One. And even with the graphical differences between the two, we still get access to ray tracing, so we'll have more realistic looking games. If you're not familiar with ray tracing, that's when you have those beautiful reflections from things like water or even glass in the game. You'll still be able to see the reflections of certain things in the environment, which just helps the realism, helps the game to feel a bit more immersive because it looks a bit realer. And honestly, there's just a lot more features that these both share that would take too long to get into in this video. But ultimately, what it boils down to is you're basically looking at a more inexpensive version of the Xbox Series X with a lower resolution, but a lot of the same perks that we are getting with the new Series X. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, guys, you know the differences now. If you had to pick, which one would it be, Carl?
I was just about to ask you that. So
digital, so no lower.
So, like I said, the main concern with the smaller one, the Xbox One S, would probably be the storage. Other than that, it's pretty much fine. It's nice and small. They're both smaller than what I thought they would be. They don't look that bad. I'm so glad they sent out these mock-ups, because for a while there, I was like, they are ugly. Like, if you follow me on Instagram and you see my stories, I have called the new Xbox, ugly for a long time. So seeing it, like, in a video, because obviously it's not really in person, it kind of changed my mind. Put it up to size of the things that he has in his house, like, it's not that bad. Like I said, the Xbox One X is, like he said too, it'll be on top of your media entertainment area or whatever. It's not something that's gonna just fit anywhere. So it is still bulky, but it just doesn't look that bad. It's literally just a cube, if that's what it really is. It's just a cube. But honestly, like I said, at $299, I'm worried. I'm still okay. The 4K thing too. Like, I'm kind of mad that it's not in 4K, but at the price point of $299, you can't really complain that much. Like, it's a system that will basically be for everyone. So we will have to see in the time coming. He said pre-order start September 22nd, and then it released November at some time. Which is not bad, because you guys also know, which I never put that video out, but I tried to do a reaction video to Super Mario 35. That comes out this week, or next week, but we can pre-order it on Wednesday. We'll talk about that another time. But honestly, what are you guys thinking? I honestly liked it. I approve. So I just want to know which one you guys plan on getting. If you plan on getting an Xbox, if not, you guys might plan on getting a PlayStation like me. Hey, Super Mario 35 comes out, you might want to go ahead and get you a Nintendo Switch, you know. For a recap on the Super 35, just real quick, because I was so happy about that. We are getting Super Mario Sunshine, Super Mario 64, and Super Mario Galaxy. Of course, with a bunch of other little things, but those were the main ones I was worried about, because once again, if you follow me on Instagram, I have said it for a long time that we need to remake a Super Mario Sunshine. That is my favorite Super Mario game. But I'm not gonna get too much into that. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. Like I said, I wanted to keep it under 20 minutes, but let me know what you guys would like, are going to get, plan on watching other people play in the comments below. And until next time, I'm Desha Ari, and you guys be safe.